Welcome again to LS Weekly, where we talk about how to help leaders come to know Jesus and how to help leaders become more like Jesus. My involvement in leader strategies is a little bit indicative of my experience with our organization in general. When I was young and I first came on staff with our organization, I was motivated by Matthew 24:14, which says the gospel of this kingdom will be preached in all the nations and then the end will come. And I thought, we just got to get to all the nations and let's get a representative from every tribe and tongue and people group into heaven with us, and then we'll usher in Jesus's return. And after 30 years, Jesus hadn't come back yet. And so I find myself realizing that those people from all the nations that we do see come to know the Lord, they need a context with which to live out their faith here on earth. And so I think a little bit something that motivates me now more is Jesus's instructions to pray that thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And what if we could create in our cities that we live in little pictures of God's kingdom? And through our faith, through the faith of those that we lead to Christ, what if we could create a picture of what it looks like to live in God's kingdom? And I think part of that is influencing the cities and the communities we live in. And so one of the things I want to challenge us this week on LS Weekly is to think about how can we maybe get involved in things that are already happening in our cities? What are some clubs or interest groups that are already happening around you that might interest you? Maybe you're a bike rider and you want to be involved with other bike riders and ride your bicycle around the city with them. There's probably already groups that are doing that, and maybe I can jump into those groups and influence them and see a big little picture of God's kingdom there among that group in that city. Maybe there's musicians that are already playing music and I can jump in with my music interests into that group and start to influence that group and see God's kingdom come in that little piece of the city. And so I want to challenge us that one of the things we are interested in is expanding to all the nations, but another thing we're interested in leader strategies is seeing God's kingdom come in the cities that we live in. And so let's explore the cities that we live in, find out what groups are already out there. We don't have to go create something new. Jump into the existing groups that are around us and bring a piece of God's kingdom into that group and influence our cities in that way.